Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Gosh, I really need to fix that intro. Well, maybe it's just the resolution. I've had to make some adjustments through OBS, so maybe that's why it's lagging like crazy. I don't know. It seems fine now, but that intro still just looks like crap whenever I play it. So maybe I'll fix it after I do this stream. But let's talk about it, guys. What is going on? Yes, I'm channeling my inner Trick Willie because I feel like it. This is the Club of the Man 1993. I am back. Yes, I uploaded a couple of videos for baseball topic videos before I did this live stream. But I'm here live for the first time in over a week. Again, I had traveled down south for a week for my sister's wedding. It went really well, other than the drive home. Hit a little bit of a couple bumps there, but we got home safe and sound in one day. Been trying to adjust back to the time change, especially also since we lose an hour of sleep this weekend also. And I was also an hour behind down there since they're in the central time zone. I'm in the eastern time zone, but you know, this is that. But anyways, let's catch up on some wrestling now. This is my review of last weekend's pay-per-view, Elimination Chamber 2026. It took place at the United Center in Chicago, Illinois. We're also going to discuss, just to make up for the Raw and SmackDown reviews not happening for 2 weeks in a row, we're also going to briefly discuss some fallout. Not all the fallout, just some stuff that took place on Raw and SmackDown. Mostly falling out from like stuff that happened on this show. Overall thoughts on Elimination Chamber. So, I watched the show. Again, I've taken into consideration, again, with the quality of the product lately, where my expectations are sitting with wrestling right now. I'm afraid to set them higher. But I do see, for the past couple weeks, it seems like WWE is pivoting a little bit. And some things seem to have changed a little bit. Which, as I said in one of my last videos before I went on my hiatus, that's fine. I appreciate they're trying something different because things aren't working. But Triple H is a guy that likes to keep things consistent. Even whenever he first took over in 2022, he was trying to finish Vince's stories, but transition them into something of his own. I just feel like, though, with some things, especially like the men's Elimination Chamber match, the fallout for that, they're really overcomplicating it. Because of the situation they got themselves in. Like, okay, you kind of diffused it a little bit last night on SmackDown. And yes, it does suck that Drew McIntyre lost the title right before WrestleMania. I was hoping that match would have ended in some sort of a screwy finish, and we would have gotten a what's it called? Like a multi-man match. I know I said before that it doesn't make sense because it makes Chamber look bad, but at least with what they did there, yes, I would have rather have Cody not had the title again until he turned heel, but I appreciate they at least made it make sense. Yes, they said the only way Cody can get a rematch for the title is if he won the Rumble or Chamber. He didn't, but it made sense that, Nick Aldis punished Drew McIntyre because Drew McIntyre was going out of his way to make sure Cody didn't get that spot. So I at least appreciate the consistency there. Jacob Fatu, although I would like to see him get involved with the match, he kind of just diffused himself out of the title picture a little bit by more so just wanting to get revenge on Drew, because that's all he wants. He wants revenge on Drew. Even though I still don't think it was it was Randy Orton who attacked Jacob Fatu. I don't think it was Drew McIntyre who attacked Jacob Fatu. But that's still a good match for Mania, but it still kind of sucks that Drew's going to lose the title here. He's probably going to lose at Mania. Because I also read somewhere the reason why they're doing this also is because Drew's supposed to be taking some time off after Mania to film another movie. So, scheduling conflicts could be another reason why they don't put the title on him. But, again, it sucks that, we had something different. And we're right back with Cody being champion again. And people are starting to get a little sick of it. And I can understand. But I at least appreciate them for trying something different. But with that being said, there was still some things on this show that I thought could have been better. Overall, it was a solid show. I thought the 2 women's matches were great. My favorite match on the show was definitely the women's chamber match. Becky and AJ was good. It's more so the fallout from it I'm a little about. We'll talk about that in a second. The world title match with CM Punk and Finn Balor was good as well. I just felt like that one could have used a couple more minutes. Like, it was good, but it didn't quite have the spark to it that I wanted it. And the men's chamber match, that one, I'm giving it a generous, decent grade, but that was a little bit of a letdown. Although, of course, I'm still surprised they did not go with Cody Rhodes, but it wasn't one of the best chamber matches I've seen, to be honest. And then, like I said, we're going to talk about some Fallout things. Oh, and also address the whole mystery crate thing as well that happened on this show as well, with that box that said "Do not open" until Elimination Chamber. We'll talk about that, of course, as well. And again, just some Fallout stuff just to get caught up on wrestling. So, live chat to everybody here. We've got Tyler here saying, "Hi, Mike. Rhea should not be in another title match at Mania. Also, their beef with her and Jade." I mean, personally, they could have gone with it was probably going to be Bianca and Jade. Bianca's hurt. I'm very surprised they didn't go with Charlotte and Jade. But honestly, in my opinion, Rhea was the next best option. I thought they may go with Alexa Bliss, though, since Charlotte was in the chamber, and tease some friction between them. Or some people mentioned the idea of it somehow becoming a triple threat with Jade, Alexa, and Charlotte. But honestly, I personally think Rhea was the next best option. I didn't think Rhea was going to win the chamber, though, at first, because she was women's tag team champion. And I thought she was going to be going on to fight the Bella Twins with Io Sky at WrestleMania. But then they dropped the titles on SmackDown to the Irresistible Forces, which was kind of a surprise. I'm not against it, because again, I do like the team of Nia Jax and Lash Legend. Again, I have been quickly becoming a huge Lash Legend fan. She has really improved a lot and has really impressed me. So I am hoping that that's a good reign for them. I just wish that they wouldn't have had like the random no contest finish a few weeks ago just to have it again. Like I felt like that was a little bit of a waste of time. I wish that wouldn't have happened because it took away from the moment a little bit. But of course now it makes me worried that they're gonna freaking turn the Bella Twins face, because the Bellas are gonna be fighting for those tag titles at WrestleMania. I mean, they could make it a fatal 4-way as well, with because Charlotte and Alexa seem to still be going after them. It looks like they're gonna keep Kiana James and Julia involved in the title picture for the tag titles. We'll talk about that situation in a second. And the Bellas, so it could be a fatal 4-way at WrestleMania, which I don't know. So we got that there. Randy needs to retire. Randy apparently thinks he has 10 more years left in him. We'll see. By the way, also, The way Randy acted on SmackDown last night, I always continue to say, every time he acts in this, goofy, loosey-goosey type guy, that is my favorite version of Randy Orton as a face. Overall, he's definitely better as a heel. Because, like I said, I feel like he doesn't have as much mileage as a baby face. But when he's being all, coming in behind Trick, pretending to dance to a song, and then RKOing him and just being all goofy. And also, I can't believe they addressed it on SmackDown too. Before the Chamber match, I think Randy had walked up to Trick Williams' pod, and he looks at him and goes, "You ain't 6'5". And then Trick Williams actually took offense to that and addressed it on SmackDown. I thought that was hilarious for sure. W2K26 is the way next Friday. Nice. I thought both Chamber matches were boring and bad. The men's, yes. The women's, I liked. I did like the women's one. Does Rhea have creative control or something? No, I don't think she does. I don't know. Well, I'm sure there's some people that do, but I don't know. But yeah, thank you, Tyler, for your thoughts. Again, I know we all didn't disagree on all of them, but again, it happens. But we're going to get right into the review. Like I said, we're going to talk about Chamber, but also mix in some fallout from Raw and SmackDown this week for some of these situations. So, the show opened up with the women's Chamber match. We had Tiffany Stratton, Rhea Ripley, Alexa Bliss, Asuka, Kiana James, and Raquel Rodriguez. I thought this was a really good match. Compared to the men's match, I felt the women did have good use of the Chamber. The men's, I felt like, was very generic and didn't have much, spots that incorporate with the Chamber, like slamming into the steels and whatnot, and into pods and such like that. There wasn't many great spots like that, unfortunately, I thought, for the men's. The women's had a few, such as, I think, what was it, whenever I think Asuka or Kiana came out of her pod and Asuka immediately went after her, or then when Raquel came out, she just immediately just picked up Kiana James and just chucked her to the glass. Honestly, Raquel Rodriguez was my star of this match, I thought. Again, I keep saying this, the past year, ever since I feel like her street fight with Rhea at Night of Champions last year, I really felt like she's taken to a whole other level, and she's really improved. To the point that I can see her at some point this year. She's probably going to feud with Liv at some point after WrestleMania. I don't know if Liv will win the title or not against Stephanie Vaquer, which, newsflash, she picked Stephanie. That's been kind of an awkward feud because I just feel like, Stephanie ripped Liv apart, and I don't know why Liv's character's been annoying me ever since she won the Rumble. I don't know why, but it just has. But at some point, we are going to probably get a feud with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. And again, Raquel has improved a lot. She even had a spot also in this match where she did a double pin on Kiana and Asuka that I thought was very cool as well, made her look very powerful. But she has really taken it up several notches the past year or so. Kiana James also thought had a really good showing. Is it just me, or is it a little bit sad that Kiana is more so the manager in her tag team with Julia, but Kiana feels so much superior to Julia right now? That's not good. Again, I don't know what it's been with her booking on the main roster, but Julia just hasn't been doing good on the main roster. And a lot of people are saying it might be because they made her a heel. Could be, honestly, she might be better off as a babyface, but I don't know. I still, even though of course I know she's hurt right now, I don't get why they took they gave Chelsea the belt back just for Julia to win it right back. I would have kept it on Chelsea if I'm being honest, because I don't know, honestly, I don't see Julia defending that women's US title at WrestleMania. Who's she gonna fight? But the only person I can see that maybe going because she doesn't have a match is Tiffany Stratton. That'd be cool for something different, just for the wrestling, like a cool down wrestling match. But I think that Kiana and Julia are both going to be involved in the women's tag title picture for WrestleMania. But Kiana, again, continues to impress me as well, too. Since Rumble, she's been really growing on me. Alexa Bliss was the first eliminated by Asuka. Alexa, I thought I was kind of the pick I was leaning towards. Well, originally, it was Alexa. I was afraid they were going to go with Tiffany Stratton. And I would have been okay with Tiffany if they hadn't done Tiffany versus Jade so much this past fall. Like, let's say if, their SummerSlam match happened, then Jade turned heel, and then had the match at Saturday Night's Main Event, and then, like, this would be, like, the rubber match. Okay, I would have digest that. But we've done that match, 5 times already? So I had no interest in seeing it again. I'm sorry, I didn't. And I thought they were going to give it to Tiffany because Tiffany's been wrestling a ton of the exhibition matches on SmackDown ever since she came back. So that's why I thought they were going to have her win Chamber. Kind of glad they didn't. Again, once they took the tag titles off of Rhea and Io, I figured Rhea was probably going to win. Because like I said, although we could have had something with Alexa Bliss, since there's a story with her and Charlotte, I still think Rhea and Jade is the next best match to go if they weren't going to go with Charlotte or, of course, Bianca. Bianca was the number one, but Bianca didn't get her finger surgery until recently. So she's out probably until the summer. Probably until June, I think. So I'm okay with Rhea winning this. I figured it was. But I thought it was a good match. Again, like Kiana and Raquel, like the newer stars, shine really good. Everybody else has some pretty good spots in there as well, too. But we're getting Rhea and Jade, who do, as Tyler said, do seem to have some real beef. Which I don't blame him. Also, again, I would be, honestly, I'd be okay if Rhea took the belt off of Jade. Because Jade's not doing it for me as champion. I mean, maybe it's not completely, her fault because they're not having her wrestle or even defend the title. Like, they keep having these same segments with her, Mia Yim, and B-Fab backstage. And we're finally having Mia Yim and Jade Cargill fight next week, but it's not for the championship. And again, Jade's been champion for over 100 days, and she only defended the title one time against Jordan Grace, and that's it. I don't know. I don't know. The red carpet treatment on Jade still, had me worried. And I still feel like it's rubbing on me as if, it's like they're playing favorites with her and whatnot. I don't know. It still feels like that she's not quite at the level they want us to think she's at yet. I don't know. Maybe her match at Mania with Rhea will blow me out of the water. Who knows? We'll see what happens. But Rhea wins the opener. The second match on the card was the women's Intercontinental title match between Becky Lynch and AJ Lee. This is AJ's first singles match in 12 years. And her first title match in 13 years? I think it was the year before when she feuded with Paige and Nikki Bella. No, I think, her last title shot, I think, was against Nikki Bella at TLC 2014. For the Divas title. And then she retired shortly after WrestleMania 31. A good match. It was good. Here's the only problem I'm starting to have with this feud. Especially because of the fact that let's fast forward there. AJ Lee won the match, okay? I'm happy for AJ. But it's kind of taken away the excitement for this feud. Like, it's kind of exposed that this feud has been good, but it hasn't gotten to the next level yet. Like, the beef between Becky and AJ hasn't, we need something a little bit more personal to happen. And right now, every time AJ and Becky fight, AJ wins. But AJ's the babyface, and Becky's the heel. So, if AJ's pinned Becky for a third time now, why do we want to see this match again? Because I don't know what else you would do for the IC title for Mania. At this point, you could do a fatal 4-way. But they're also sticking with the storyline with Becky Lynch and referee Jessica Carr. Now, I didn't notice till the other day, but Jessica Carr apparently is training to be a wrestler. And this could be the storyline that transitions her into being a wrestler, having a feud with Becky Lynch. Okay, but I don't know. I expected a little bit more from this. I mean, they did kind of have the protective finish with Becky Lynch exposing the turnbuckle, especially after AJ kicked out of a manhandle slam on a steel chair. which I love Becky's reaction when she kicked out at 2. It was hilarious. But then, of course, Becky tried to use the exposed turnbuckle on AJ Lee. Jessica Carr stopped her, but then AJ got out of the way, and Becky ran to the turnbuckle before AJ got her to tap out to the Black Widow. I don't know. Like I said, it was a good match. It's just that the feud's fading off for me, because Becky has no heat because she keeps losing to AJ. So, like I said, even if they do like a fatal 4-way, adding in Natty and Maxine, I don't know, it doesn't, like, this should have been the WrestleMania match. And honestly, I still think Becky should have won this to get more heat on her for something even bigger WrestleMania. Like, something get a little bit more personal. Like, I'll put it this way. This is how it would have been like if Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa didn't go to another level after their NXT TakeOver New Orleans match. And it stayed, like, at this level, like, you know, of the beef between them. Like, after that, Tommaso Ciampa had done a horrible beatdown on Johnny Gargano, and even, like, you know, got, like, Candice involved in the situation and whatnot. Made it more personal. This, it just feels like it's coasting. It's fine, but it's coasting. We went better than fine. Like, we went better than just a C on an average grade. We went a great grade. We went an amazing grade. So, I just wish this feud would have gone to, like, a little bit higher levels. Like I said, I don't know where we're going next with the Women's IC title. AJ basically issued an open challenge for Raw for next week. So, I don't know where it's going, but we'll see. The third match of the show was CM Punk versus Finn Balor for the World Heavyweight Championship. Again, this was good. But, again, I knew CM Punk was going to win. I didn't see Finn Balor winning this match. But I am intrigued by the story, at least, with how CM Punk has basically reminded Finn Balor who he is, and that the Judgment Day is kind of like anchoring him down and holding him back, reminding him of all the accomplishments he had, before he joined Judgment Day, and how all of them he did by himself, and how it's made Finn realize, you know, what he's doing wrong. The match in Belfast was great. I personally prefer that one over this one. This one was still good, but I wanted Belfast again and some more. And I feel like I got, like, not quite Belfast. Honestly, they probably could have given this match a couple more minutes, if I'm being honest. If it gave it a couple more minutes, I bet you it would have gotten, like, the spark I wanted. Like, I wanted, like, us to really, really, really get behind Finn Balor in this match. CM Punk did retain, shake Finn's hand. What I also liked, though, about this match, there was a moment where I remember Finn was looking back up the ramp, and it looked like he was, because he told the Judgment Day, he told Dom and JD, I need to do this myself. And it looked like he was about to motion for them, but he didn't. I did like that little moment right there, showing that, you know, slight shift in character, that they're directing him towards a babyface turn. Which I said months ago, he has nothing to make him a face. But I feel like this story he's had with Punk, it's helped that a little bit, but it's still an awkward position for the Judgment Day, based off what else they've said. But we'll talk about that when we get to the segment after this match. But I just wanted, like, a little bit more spark to make us really feel like Finn Balor's back on a main event level again. And he is going to be getting a main event push, I'm hoping, as well as one to feeling. And I just felt like I didn't quite get that. Not quite, but it was still a good match. And afterwards, CM Punk does shake Finn Balor's hand. To talk about the rest of Judgment Day, though, we'll tie it into what happened next with this segment where they finally opened that mystery crate that was shown up on Raw and SmackDown that said to not open until Elimination Chamber. Well, Nick Aldis and Adam Pearce opened the crate, and inside there was a coffin. And the coffin door opened, and you heard a laughter go, ha 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 ha, you are cursed. And a bunch of women in face paint came out, and then Danhausen came out. Danhausen made his WWE debut. And he got a nice pop, because we were in Chicago, and Danhausen is from Chicago, and he's good friends with CM Punk, which I heard that he's the reason why Danhausen did come to WWE after he finally got out of his AEW contract, they weren't using him. And he came out, but he just made an entrance, and then as soon as like the song ended, it went to black, and the crowd booed. I don't think they booed because it was Danhausen. I think they booed because it's like, you know, like it kind of fell a little flat because it's like he made an entrance and that was it. Like nothing else like happened. I don't know. Like I said, I mean, for what he's done so far this week, because here's my opinion about Danhausen. Again, I've always seen what he did in AEW briefly. I don't see him being a world champion or like a main eventer, but I think he can be a nice character act. I just don't know what direction they're going to go, because like on Raw this week, he met both general managers this week, and he gave them a list of things he wants, like a Hall of Fame induction. He wants a picture with Triple H and a couple other things and whatnot. But on Raw, I like what he did on Raw. On Raw, he cursed Dominic Mysterio, and Dominic Mysterio lost his Intercontinental title to Penta on Monday, which was a shocker. But then it's like, okay, but now where does Judgment Day go? Because I thought the long-term plan was Finn versus Dom at WrestleMania for the IC title. Now that Dom doesn't have the IC title, and like Roxanne Perez just had surgery on a mass on her back, so she's going to be out for a while. I don't know. It's like everything they've set up with Judgment Day, between them bringing in Roxanne Perez. Finn Balor probably won't going to be wanting to get revenge on Dominic Mysterio for pinning him for the IC title last year. And like, because even like Dom probably wants to get revenge on Finn, because during the match on Raw, Finn stopped JD from getting involved. He said, nope, he said he wanted to do it himself. Let him do it himself. And now Danhausen's cursed Dom, and Dom's probably going on a losing streak. Because I don't see them doing Dominic Mysterio versus Danhausen at WrestleMania. But I don't know. It's like I like that, and I get what they did. It did kind of make Danhausen have some luster to him, because I like that better than what he did on SmackDown. On SmackDown, he just saw the Miz, because Danhausen, he's looking for a mentor, and Miz is doing this whole gimmick now where he's basically saying that he wants to, like, you know, mentor people. When he's trying to call himself the new John Cena, since John Cena's gone. Of course, that's not quite going to be the case, because Miz is never going to be on the same level as John Cena, although the Miz is great and a Hall of Famer, but you know what I mean. But Danhausen cursed the Miz, and I'm like, the Miz doesn't really need to be cursed for me to believe he's losing, because Miz loses a lot already the way it is. So that one was kind of like, I don't know. But, I don't know. I just, I don't know. We'll see what happens with Danhausen. And, of course, with the Judgment Day. Because, again, I feel like they just set up a lot of different, like, you know, cracks to the Judgment Day. But now it's like they're going in a totally different direction. And it kind of leaves the other stuff, like, you know, it's like, well, wait, then, like, if Roxanne Perez wasn't going to cause to be the long-term crack between Dom and Liv, then why was she even in Judgment Day to begin with? Especially when she was giving Dom some chicken nuggets and some massages that Dom didn't really need. I don't know. We'll see where it goes from there. I have a coworker actually who says he wants to see a segment with Danhausen and R-Truth. We'll see. That could be pretty funny, but who knows? All right, main event time. The men's chamber match. We got Randy Orton, LA Knight, Cody Rhodes, Javon Evans, Trick Williams, and Logan Paul. Now, originally, it was supposed to be Bronson Reed in this spot. Although, and then, well, okay. Personally, I think Braun Breaker was supposed to be in this match before he got hurt. And then Bronson Reed was supposed to be in the match, but during his qualifying match, he tore his bicep. He had surgery. Now he's out for probably about 4 to 6 months, maybe 6 to 9 months. I don't know. He's going to be out for a while. And the only Vision members left currently are Logan Paul and Austin Theory. So they had a segment on SmackDown where Jey Uso had gotten taken out. By who, we don't know yet. And Logan Paul, with a dirty finish, beat Jacob Fatu to get into the qualifying match. To get into the chamber. So, I don't know. Like I said, this match, something was off with it. Like, I like all the talent involved. We started off with Cody Rhodes and Javon Evans. But, like, Javon did good. But, like, he didn't have any, like, big standout moment. Besides doing, like, what? Him and LA Knight chucked Logan Paul off the top of the pod. And he also did, like, a frog splash off top of the pod. I don't know. I want something a little bit more spectacular from Javon. Or even, like, an interaction with him and Randy Orton. We didn't get that either. And then, also, I don't know. Well, okay, Logan Paul was the true villain in this match. Because, let's be honest, Trick Williams, he's a heel, yes, but he's so over. Like, they're just trying to find the avenue to turn him face. But, I don't know, I get Logan Paul was also filling Bronson Reed's shoes, but him being the one to, like, eliminate 3 people like a big man, something seemed a little bit off by it. I don't know. And then LA Knight, poor LA Knight. I really feel like this is LA Knight's last shot in being a main eventer and being a world champion. And he had this botch where he went to do like the springboard rope elbow drop, and he completely slipped off the top rope and landed on his feet. And it was the botch there. I don't know, like I said, it felt like a very standard match that didn't need to be inside the chamber. But they did a little bit towards the end, where after Logan Paul got his 3 eliminations, the chamber door was open. And, well, first they had one masked figure come out. Now, they had another masked figure on SmackDown that got revealed to be some random guy, which we found out later, though, apparently was an actual student of Seth Rollins' wrestling school. So, these little decoys, because they even had him on Raw before Seth Rollins, spoiler alert, came out and attacked Paul Heyman. So Seth Rollins is kind of using his own little army of his own students to, like, kind of like, you know, pull some strings there. And finally, though, Seth Rollins did reveal himself to come into the chamber and take out Logan Paul. I don't know if Seth's back to being a babyface yet, though. I've heard like they're just trying to make him more serious and whatnot. So he hasn't spoken yet. Not quite sure where they're going with him. I'm still hoping Braun Breaker, because I keep hearing that hernia surgeries, you can only think I need like a 4-6 week recovery. And I'm still hoping that Braun Breaker gets back in time for WrestleMania. Because I think originally Braun was going to win the title at Mania. But now a lot of plans have just changed. I think they're going to be doing Braun Breaker versus Seth Rollins one-on-one after Seth suffered his shoulder injury. But now that Seth seems to be back, I'm hoping Braun can get back, because they're not. Who else is Seth Rollins going to face? Like, him and Logan Paul, they had a great match at WrestleMania, but I'm not screaming to see it again. I thought about maybe having Seth Rollins be the one to face Brock Lesnar, because Seth's already beaten Brock twice, and if they really want to give Brock a win going into SummerSlam, honestly, I'd be okay with him beating Seth Rollins. Seth can take that loss. I do not want to see Brock Lesnar versus LA Knight. At first when I heard the rumor, I'm like, that's bogus. But I'm thinking, wait a minute. LA Knight is feuding with the Vision right now. Basically, he's beating just about everybody except for Brock. So that's why I'm thinking they could go with Brock Lesnar versus LA Knight, and I don't want that match. If they do, I do not see LA Knight beating Brock Lesnar. If LA Knight fights Brock Lesnar, he's signing his death wish, and that's going to be the end of his run, in my opinion. If he does that, him losing to Brock is going to bury him. So honestly, like I said, I feel like the safe. Well, okay. I want Brock Lesnar and Obafemi. I don't feel confident that they're going to do Brock Lesnar versus Obafemi. So like I said, they could go with Seth. Seth would be a safe pick in my opinion. Because again, he could take the loss. He could take the loss to Brock. But yeah, so we had that happen there. So it came down to Cody Rhodes and Drew McIntyre. And it felt like they just like stared down each other for a good couple minutes. Until they, for some reason, still thought leaving the chamber door open forever was a great idea. And Drew McIntyre came in again and attacked Cody Rhodes because he doesn't want to see Cody Rhodes get an opportunity to fight him again. And Cody and Randy worked together to get rid of Drew. But then as soon as they took out Drew, Randy RKO's Cody out of nowhere and pins Cody to win the chamber. This was Randy Orton's 10th chamber match and only the second victory he had inside the chamber. So Randy Orton's going to WrestleMania. But who's he going to fight? Well, during the post-show, Nick Aldis confronted Drew McIntyre and basically told him, I am tired of you, pushing the limits. We had a deal and you broke it. Now I'm going to break my end of the deal. Cody Rhodes, because you seem to be so hell-bent on stopping Cody Rhodes from getting a title shot against you again, Cody's going to fight you on SmackDown for the Undisputed title. Which Drew was irate about that. And as expected, as I predicted, we all saw coming, Drew did lose the title. So we're doing Cody versus Randy. And a lot of people aren't happy. And again, I understand why. And I hate to see Cody Rhodes be in that position where people are sick of him being on top. I get it. It hurts to see, but I get it. The only complaint I'm going to have, though, is I remember there were people who were pissed when they took the belt off Cody and put it on Drew, saying, we were supposed to get Cody versus Randy. What are you guys doing? Well, now we're getting Cody versus Randy for the title of Mania, and now probably the same people are complaining. So it's like, what do you want? But, again, I don't know. I would have rather had something, like, totally different. Because, again, even Randy winning, it's like, even if they would have done Randy versus Drew, it's like, we've done that match how many times also already? But, again, I at least appreciated they're trying something different. They are giving us a match that we definitely have wanted for a long time at Mania. Cody Rhodes versus Randy Orton. I don't know if they're going to turn one of them heel or not. Again, it's hard because, Cody's, the guy, although he also knows his heel run is coming. Randy, although is better as a heel, he's still so over with the crowd. They're singing his theme song. He's still, being goofy Randy Orton. So, I don't know which way that they're going to go with it, to be honest. But yeah, like I said, this men's chamber match, though, was just very generic. And then I also wonder what's going to happen with Sami Zayn. Because Sami Zayn keeps having these segments where it's like, well, first off, again, that segment he had with Cody where he flipped out on Cody for taking advantage of him and then he apologized for it, didn't do him any justice. But they kind of made up for it a little bit because he has these segments where he's talking to guys like Cody and Randy and a few others. Basically, it's like, how do you guys do it? Like, you guys obviously, take advantage of situations and he pulled the trigger. Sammy goes through his moral crisis saying, like, it's like, I can't do it. I want to do it, but I know it's wrong. And even, Randy this week was telling him, like, you just got to hear the voices inside your head and whatnot. Then Aleister Black and Zelina Vega walk up to him, and this shows more that they're making them Karrion Kross and Scarlett 2.0. Yeah, I know. I don't know. But it's also interesting because, again, Aleister Black is lurking around, and he has a pinfall victory on Randy Orton. But I think for now, they're going to keep it just Cody versus Randy, and Drew and Jacob were going to go one-on-one at WrestleMania. Which, fine, but eventually we got to find out who attacked Jacob. And honestly, now, who attacked Jay as well. Jay did return on Raw this week, though, and basically showed he was fine again. And he, of course, the signs point to the vision for who attacked Jay. Maybe it was them who attacked Jay. I don't know. But yeah. That's all I gotta say about Chamber. Again, I basically said most of my fallout. The only other fallout thing I want to mention Was anybody else like very disappointed to see Johnny Gargano get squashed by Obafemi? I mean, when they had him come out and cut that promo about him being reminded that he's Johnny Wrestling, this, and that, I got my hopes. I think they were turning him face again, and they were going to give him a serious direction. And the moment Obafemi came out, I'm like, dang it. That just hurt to see. It's pretty obvious Johnny Gargano is leaving soon, and that's a shame. Because, again, he could have gone to AEW back in 2022, but he came back and got that Heroes Welcome back and whatnot in 2022. And then, you know, again, him and Tommaso just didn't get over with DIY, and yeah, I don't know. That was like a tickler of like, you know, oh, we want to see Johnny wrestling again, and then they just have him get squashed by Obafemi. But yeah, it's all about the fallout. I had to discuss it when I wanted to. Of course, Roman Reigns and CM Punk had a great segment where, you know, there's a lot more of like, you know, beef between them as well too. So we'll see where WrestleMania goes. I'm going to try to get my card predictions done this week. I am trying though to get back into getting the best and worst match series edit, because like I said, I fell behind with like my little system getting the first edition done, so I'm almost done getting caught up with that before I start putting 2015's final pieces together. It's just taking a little bit long because of just how busy I am right now, guys, but I will hopefully get those back on track again very, very soon. And yeah, if there's anything I missed to discuss, like, let me know in the live chat before I go off the air here. But I'll give Elimination Chamber a B-. B- because like it was solid. I probably would have given it a B, but again, that men's chamber match, it wasn't my cup of tea. Everything else was good to great. That, I don't know. And again, we'll see where to go with Dan Housen as well too. But yeah. So I think we were at Todd saying I'd rather have Charlotte in the chamber to win it than Rhea. I still am very surprised they didn't put Charlotte in the chamber. I really thought they were going to, but you know, Kiana had a good showing. You know, I'm not going to knock that completely. Only match I care is Punk versus Roman. That's still kind of the same. Honestly, that's really the only like really exciting match I would say is for Mania, and it's the night 2 main event, which as well should be. The only match I'm going to get hate for saying this, but whatever Charlotte was the last real champion. When was Charlotte champion last? Was it before? I think it was, yeah, wasn't it when she dropped the title to Rhea at WrestleMania 39? I think that's the last time she was champion. Well, singles champion, that is. Let me see here. What else we got here? Judgment Day need to end this year. I think we finally are getting the cracks in them as well. And fire Logan Paul. I wish. They're not going to fire Logan Paul. But yeah, I think I'm going to call it here. I do have a few things I want to do before I get on with the rest of my day. But yeah, I seem to starting to get caught up on some things again. We'll be back to Raw and SmackDown reviews this coming week. Probably going to be recorded again unless I get the urge to do them live. I don't know. Again, Raw and SmackDown are just right now. Like, you know, fine, but just nothing too exciting. And we will go from there. Oh, I know one more thing I wanted to talk about before I go, because I didn't get to talk about it before I left. AJ Styles. So AJ Styles is in fact retired. He signed a new deal with WWE to help developmental talent. And he had a nice farewell speech on Raw before Chamber. And they inducted him into the Hall of Fame. He did not just get inducted to the Hall of Fame. Now, I like that they did that for him. That was special. The only thing that kind of bothered me was the fact that, because at first I'm like, oh, awesome, AJ's in, but wouldn't you think they would have put Cena in before AJ, or at least them at the same time? And then I heard the reports, and I think AJ himself even said it on the podcast, they did it to stop him from going to AEW. And I heard that, I'm like, I don't know. It's just like, why does it have to be like that pettiness still? You know? Like, I get it. You're rival companies. You know that AEW would benefit by getting AJ Styles. But, like, come on, guys. I don't know. But I'm glad AJ is going to be going to the Hall of Fame. Demolition's going in as well. So far, it's Stephanie McMahon, AJ Styles, and Demolition going into the Hall of Fame. But I thought that was bittersweet of them to do, except for the fact that, again, that they only did it just to stop him from going to AEW, so whatever. All right, but I'm going to call it here, guys. Again, I gave Elimination Chamber a B-. The two title matches got B's. Women's Chamber got a B+. Men's Chamber got a generous C+. Whole show got a B- for me. So what are your guys' thoughts again on Chamber and the fallout from Chamber as we're on the road to WrestleMania 42? Leave your guys' thoughts again down in the comment section below. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, the Club of the Man 93. You may also follow me on TikTok and Instagram at the Club of the Man 1993. And until then, guys, I'm checking out. I'll catch you all later. Have a great rest of your Saturday, and do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!